I never thought a simple photo would change everything. My marriage wasn't perfect, but it wasn't broken either. We had our routines. Coffee in the morning, shared chores, polite kisses. Nothing dramatic, just the rhythm of years passing quietly. I missed the spark sometimes, the little butterflies I once felt. That's probably why I didn't think twice when an old friend from college messaged me on Facebook. Jake was someone I hadn't spoken to in over a decade. We used to be close, flirty, maybe, but we never crossed a line. When he popped up, I smiled, thinking it was harmless. We caught up quickly. He sent me an old group photo from a beach trip we both barely remembered. It brought back memories. I laughed and replied with a selfie, just me at my desk, nothing special. No filter, no intention, just a candid shot. He responded with a "Wow, you haven't aged a day." I brushed it off, but part of me felt good reading that. I didn't delete the message. My phone buzzed again later that night. Jake had replied to the photo again with a winking emoji. I smiled, just for a second. My husband was in the next room. I didn't say anything. The next few days, Jake and I kept talking. It wasn't just memories anymore. His messages started leaning flirtatious. He'd say things like, "If I had known how beautiful you'd turn out, I wouldn't have let you go." I didn't encourage it outright, but I didn't shut it down either. I laughed, sent emojis, responded quickly. It felt exciting, like a part of me had woken up. My husband noticed the change. He asked who I kept texting. I said it was just a college friend catching up. He didn't push, but I could see the flicker of doubt in his eyes. I started lowering my phone when he entered the room, turning off previews. One night, Jake sent me a picture of himself, shirt slightly unbuttoned, lounging on a couch, nothing explicit, but clearly meant to be suggestive. I stared at it longer than I should have. I knew this was a line. But instead of deleting it, I replied with a teasing message. I started keeping my phone on silent. We began talking late into the night. I'd lie there texting, pretending to scroll through articles. Guilt lingered, but I pushed it down. I told myself it was just harmless flirting. No one was getting hurt. Jake told me he used to have feelings for me back in college. He said he regretted never acting on them. That seeing me now brought all those feelings back. I read the message twice. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but I didn't. Instead, I told him I used to wonder about him too. That single reply shifted everything. We weren't just talking. We were confiding. He started calling me at night. I'd step outside or into the bathroom just to hear his voice. He made me feel desired in a way I hadn't felt in years. It wasn't physical, but the connection was intense. I began pulling away from my husband. Conversations with him felt dull. I avoided eye contact, faked headaches, skipped intimacy. I justified it by saying I was tired or stressed. Jake and I talked about meeting. He said he'd be in town for work. I didn't say no. We made plans for a quick coffee, nothing serious. The night before we met, my husband casually asked who Jake was. My heart skipped. I lied without hesitation, saying it was someone from a group chat. He nodded but looked unsure. I turned away, pretending everything was normal. Meeting Jake felt surreal. He looked older but familiar. We hugged, talked, laughed like old times. There was chemistry, no denying it, but the guilt was louder than the thrill. I kept checking my phone, feeling like I was being watched. We didn't kiss, didn't touch beyond that hug, but it felt like cheating anyway. On the way home I felt sick. My husband was waiting. He didn't yell. He didn't even speak at first. He simply handed me his phone. On the screen were screenshots, messages, photos, even a voice note I'd accidentally left open. My heart dropped. He'd seen everything. Quietly he asked, "Why?" I didn't have an answer. I said it was just talking, that it never got physical. He looked at me, hurt but calm. "That's worse," he said. "You gave him the part of you that used to belong to me." He packed a small bag and left without another word. I sat there, staring at my phone. The same selfie I sent Jake was open on the screen. The one I thought was harmless. Turns out, it had automatically synced to our shared cloud. He saw it the moment I sent it. That one photo ended everything.